أعوذ بالله السميع العليم من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم إن الحمد لله نعمده ونستعينه ونستغفره ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا من يهده الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلن تجد له وليا مرشدا وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدا عبد الله ورسوله صلى الله عليه وسلم يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله حق تقاته ولا تموتن إلا وأنتم مسلمون يا أيها الناس إنا خلقناكم من ذكر وأنثى وجعلناكم شعوبا وقبائل لتعارفوا إن أكرمكم إن الله أتقاكم ثم أما بعد. All praise and thanks are due to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. First of all, we need to be thankful for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for making us as a Muslim. As when we look in this masjid, we come from different places, different nations, but because of Islam, we are just like one body. But before that, I want to personally thank Dr. Ahmad, inshallah, for this initiative. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to multiply these imams and these leaders, not only in this area, but around the world. Because before me, inshallah, there were my imams and my teachers every month. They come and share with us these very important topics. So as he just mentioned in the introduction, we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to help us to implement, not just to meet here every month, but as the months are rolling, and this is a warning for us, it means that we are going close to our grave. It means that our behavior should also change. So we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to reward him and reward all of the imams who were able to come. And then after that, all of the imams also going to come to continue this. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to also bless them and give them the opportunity to do it. Today is a Friday, as you know. This is the 15th of the month of Jumad al-Awwal, and the year is 1431, when the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam made the migration from Mecca to Medina, which is the equivalent of the Gregorian calendar. Today is Friday, the April 30th, 2010, and we are at the Masjid Janad in the Bronx, New York. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala what we are going to say to put this in our heart and help us to implement. And any mistake or any shortcoming, we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to forgive us. The topic of tonight is about Islam in West Africa, the past, the present, and the future. As Edmund Burke mentioned, he said, those who don't know history are destined to repeat the history. So if you don't know the history, you are condemned to repeat the history. So knowing your history help you to take advantage. Knowing your history allowed you to know where you are. Knowing your history will help you to know what mistake you make, so you can grow from your mistake. Knowing your history will help you to know your location or your life, how to situate your life in the past, in the present, and in your future. Because if you don't know your past, your present is going to be shaken, and if you don't have a good foundation, it means your future is going to be on the same thing. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to help us. So the first thing we need to be talking about is about the past, how Islam entered in West Africa. And inshallah next month, inshallah, our Imam Abdullah is going to talk about Africa as a whole. So we are just going to be focusing, as you see the flowers, we are just going to be focusing on in West Africa. And for those who do not know, like George Bush, he thinks Africa is a country. So Africa is a continent. It means it have a lot of countries. George Bush say Africa is a big country. Africa is a continent. So the first thing we need to mention is Islam reached the savannah area of West Africa in the 8th century. It means on the 2nd year of Hijrah. The second, it means when the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam migrated from Mecca to Medina, in the first 200 years, where you still can smell the nubuwwah of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, That's when Islam left Saudi Arabia to reach the west coast of Africa. To tell us Islam has been in Africa almost more than 1,200 years in West Africa. And Islam was accepted by a dynasty. In Africa there were a lot of dynasties, before the colonization and all of this. So we are going to be talking about some of these kingdoms, roughly. It was accepted by the Dion Ogon dynasty of the kingdom of Tekour, which is situated in the both bank of Senegal. So that is the first time when Islam reached this place. A lot of Muslim Arab historians like Al-Bakri, Al-Masud, Ibn Battuta, and Ibn Khaldun, they mention that Islam in West Africa got its foundation from what? From this kingdom in the two band of what? Of Senegal. That's why they refer to this area. Usually they refer to the West Africa as what? Bilad al-Sawda. You know Sauda, it means black, right?
Yes, yes.
So West Africa, in general, when you look on the map, that West Africa is called Bilad al-Sawda. It means the land of the black, in general. But this historian, they call that area, that kingdom of Tekour, Bilad al-Tekour, meaning to isolate the Bilad al-Sawda from the Muslim in that area, calling them Bilad al-Tekour, meaning what? The land of the black Muslim. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to help us. In this area, in that time, maybe 1,200 years ago, how did Islam move around that area? As you know, the trade and the commerce, the business in this area is what allows from mouth to mouth. Because many people in this area do what? Some people have agriculture, some of them are doing what? Businesses. To me, some of them we go to what? They will go to Maghreb, they will go to what? Morocco, in Egypt, buy food, buy stuff, go to Mauritania, come back in that area making business. So when they come in contact with Islam, that's how they spread Islam what? In the whole area of what? Of West Africa. By doing so, it reached even a point where in this kingdom, in Tekour, they start applying the Islamic law as a Sharia. In these 1,200 years ago before. So that center of trade, of business, became a center of Islamic learning and civilization. So when you come to someone to buy something from him, and he told you, hold on, I'm going to sell it to you, but I'm going to do something. And you see him making wudu and praying, you have to ask him, what are you doing? So that's why the conversation started. We worship Allah, who's Allah, and you start explaining. That's your da'wah. So we can implement that. If you're driving a car in New York, and you take someone, they need to understand the way you welcome your passenger in your car, the way you welcome people in your restaurant, the way you welcome people on your shop. They need to understand that you are a Muslim. So that's why you can what? You can take your Islam, you can do your da'wah everywhere. Just like it has been brought to our attention that we have one brother from Gambia. He's a security guard. He worked in one of the firms of security owned by a Jew. In Ramadan, they see him praying. They see him fasting.